Welcome back to Siege of Central New York 2019. We have our last game of the day, our 7 p.m. game, Central New York Roller Derby's All-Stars versus Green Mountain's Grade A Fancy. That's right, so CNY currently ranked 201 in the WFTDA, and Green Mountain Roller Derby's All-Stars, Grade A Fancy, at 204. I'm Beautiful Banshee.
I'm a load of sarcasm.
And we will be bringing you all of the Derby action, the last game of the day on day one of Siege of Central New York.
Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum.
Yeah! Okay, so we have Green Mountain wearing white and Central New York wearing black. Jammers of note, 42 Hotcakes on the line up against Curb Stomp. And of course, Curb Stomp for Green Mountain. We saw both teams earlier. First game of the day was Green Mountain versus Burning River. And lead achieved by Hotcakes.
Yeah, Hotcakes part of that four-jammer rotation that was pretty significant there for CNY. It changed up a little bit between the first and the second half, but Hotcakes was in the thick of things through and through.
And someone made the suggestion earlier before this game that we need to get a photo of Hotcakes with one of the Grade A Fancy's water bottle jugs that's actually a syrup jug.
Get out of
because
here.
Hotcakes
Yeah.
and Grade A Fancy maple syrup.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
See, I like the bacon grade maple syrup. I like the darker stuff.
Yes, that's just as delicious.
All right, so Ream up next for CNY. Again, in the black with the teal stripe down the sides. And that is 369 Snatch McCracken in the white for Grade A Fancies.
Up against 32, Ream with CNY. So Pack off to a slow start as both defenses putting the brakes on, but first out, there we have it, Snatch McCracken with the lead for Grade A Fancy. And also thanks to everyone joining us watching on New England Roller Derby Report, aka Nerd Derby's Twitch TV channel, bringing this quality broadcast to you for a low, low price of free. Power Jam in favor of Green Mountain as we have Rim in the box.
Yeah, Ream's into the penalty box on a back block, but it looks like the star is just off of turn one here on the outside of the track.
Sometimes they slip off.
That's why I announce.
Yes. Though, I will say most of the time I'm blocking when I'm on skates, but the occasional, hat slip happens.
All right, so it looks like Ream is out of the penalty box. He's picked up the star and is about to put it back on. But at the same time, Snatch McCracken pushed to the outside of turn one, backed up by Connie Vict.
So a slow pack, hoping to take away any momentum that Snatch McCracken has in the back there, the CNY line. And it appears Rim has returned, made it through on the initial, but 4 points up on the last pass, making it a total of 8 for Green Mountain. That brings them to 8 points over CNY's 4. And I just have to say, Eloda, there's some really fun stuff on here.
I got that this morning, and a lot of them were just like, I don't know. And I don't know if they expected me to fill it in because I know so many of the CNY skaters from having worked with them. But
Right.
I mean, all I know is P&G hates bananas.
Oh, well, yes, that's a fact. And what else is a fact is Bernoulli's Evasion taking lead for Grade A Fancy over Summer of Sam jamming for Central New York.
The Summer of Sam is out of the pack on an initial pass.
And this is the 9th year for Summer of Sam skating. And she'll hit you when you least expect it. Yes, that is true crime.
Yeah, that's it. So I was like, Summer of Sam, you're a true crime fan, huh? And she's like, yeah, I definitely am. Yeah, Summer. And I was like, yep, got it. So she was ahead of her time if she had that name 9 years ago.
Yeah.
When you consider what's out there nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, stay out of the pack, don't get murdered.
Exactly.
All right, Hotcakes out there once again, taking on number 19 Beast Infection for Green Mountain in the white. Hotcake's going to get pushed to the outside of the front stretch. This time coming in on the inside, looking for a spot to make her way through. Looks like she's just going to get shoved around to the outside of turn 1.
Seeing lots of chaos in that pack. Lead going to Beast Infection, though Hotcakes hot on Beast Infection. Oh no, Hotcakes now in front of Beast Infection. And this is the 10th year for Hotcakes skating. You know, she's aiming for 20 so she can skate with her kids.
Yeah,
That's
when
a
I was
pretty
talking to
sweet
her,
goal.
she works with the juniors team,
Yes.
and would really like to be able to still be on skates and rosterable so that when they age up, she'll be on the team.
I love that.
Which is really cool, though, because there's already a precedent with that for CNY. We've got Sinful Pleasures,
Yes.
who's on the roster this year, but she has skated with her
White
daughters,
Lie,
White Lie and Smashly Crumble, like all at the same time. So, I mean, it's something that's done here in CNY.
It's amazing.
Yeah, skate with your kids.
Yes, Snatch McCracken versus Ream off the line. Familiar pairing. We're starting to sense what the jammer rotation is shaking out to be. And lead going to Snatch McCracken. We have the pack in turn 1. Currently with Grade A Fancy's blockers in the back. Oh, have we had a star pass? No, just a stash for the time being. Big
Holy
hit.
doodle, yeah, did you see that?
Holy doodle.
Oh, I was thinking of your cheese doodle, sorry. I was
Yes, I'm
slightly
sorry.
distracted.
Cryptic Kablam was the purveyor of that hit.
Gotcha. All right, so
Sorry.
Snatch McCracken taking a hard hit to the inside, calling it off from the floor.
And yes, I do have some Cheetos in front of me right now.
Yeah.
They've been keeping us well fed today here at CNY, as they always do at Siege.
That's it. If you like to eat and you like to announce, this is the place for you.
Oh yeah. Well, I finally get to try the Utica tomato pie. Is
Oh,
that
okay.
what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the tomato pie. I tried it today. It's very much like Rhode Island party pizza. So yes,
Can you just say that again?
party pizza.
So you eat it in the bathroom?
No. Party
Oh,
pizza.
Gotcha. All right. So back to the action. Summer of Sam taking on Curb Stomp for Green Mountain Grade A Fancies. We've got Summer of Sam out in front, picking up lead jammer privilege for the All-Stars.
You get the rare Massachusetts South Coast thing slip. Oops. But yeah, speaking of oops, a couple of skaters taking a tumble in the backstretch, but everything moving forward into turn 4. That is Summer of Sam pushing it out against a brace 2 wall of Grade A Fancy skaters.
And included in that pileup that we were talking about in turn 3 was number 32 there, Curb Stomp, who is the jammer of record, but has, just as I said that, turned the star over to her pivot. I'll have that in just a second as she comes around here. And just as number 20, Sarah Quill XR, the captain for the Grade A Fancies, gets the star on her helmet, it's going to get called off.
And if they do choose, if Grade A Fancies do choose to pass the star, it will likely be to Sarah Quill XR. We saw that quite a bit in Game 1 today.
Yep, and I feel like Curb Stomp was another one
Yes.
who took the star, but we're seeing her more in the actual jammer rotation itself.
Okay, Burn Yuli's Evasion, 3199 with the star for Grade A Fancy. And 42 Hotcakes. We're in the star for CNY.
Grade A Fancies with a slight pack advantage there, but it's not going to stop Hotcakes out in front. Lead jammer privilege is going to go to CNY All-Stars. Meanwhile, Bernoulli's Evasion still trying to make an initial pass there. One to beat that Sinful Pleasures there in turn 2. And just a series of knockouts. I don't know if Hotcakes intended to take Bernoulli's Evasion out of play there, but she did.
Oh, and a cutting the track penalty assessed to Bernoulli's Evasion. So a power jam for Central New York. Hotcakes fighting it out against the last line of defense. That was number 9, Busty Breaker.
Convict coming back into play for the CNY All-Stars. Hotcakes is going to take it to the outside of turn 3 and gets knocked down.
Okay, Hotcakes cycling back, able to ice the Green Mountain Jammer in the penalty box, though standing. So there'll be a brief power start.
Yep.
And I don't know if you noticed, if you've seen it on the stream, you may have noticed that there was something written on Hotcakes' leg, and you'll see that on a few of the other skaters of Central New York's All-Stars. It's number 2112. It's for Hit Girl, their teammate, who unfortunately passed away last year unexpectedly. But in her memory, they decided to put her number on their legs. So nice little way to show some love.
Yeah, definitely. Hit Girl was somebody that I always loved watching
Yes,
at these tournaments. Just a force
skater.
and a great skater and just a great all-around individual.
Yes.
So.
And after that last jam, we're starting off here, 16 points for Green Mountain, 15 for CNY. So very close game. And I'm sure many more lead changes to come. Oh,
wow.
A huge hit.
Got reamed.
Yes.
My goodness.
Number 23, Fox, the bearer of that hit. Still lead to Ream's credit. In the backstretch, things getting a little crazy. You see Bernoulli's evasion taken to the backstretch edge of turn 2.
Yeah, comes out of the penalty box holding the star on her hand in an effort to just kind of make her way through. Looks like we do, though, have a star pass off to, no surprise, number 32. That is Curb Stomp, the other pivot that we saw taking the star a lot in their first game today.
And we're seeing some crazy blocking from Seroquel XR, really just using the upper arm to the full extent possible.
All right, and it looks like we've had a lead change, Central New York. The Nightmares, I was calling them the All-Stars. I just need to
I'm sorry,
get with
that was my fault.
rebrand. So they are 19/16 for the Grade A Fancies. 19 minutes left to go in the first half. Both these two teams having played earlier today, which means that they'll just have one game tomorrow on Sunday. We've got Summer of Sam wearing the star for the CNY Nightmares, taking on Snatch McCracken in the white for Green Mountain. Summer of Sam picking up lead jammer.
Nightmare defense doing their part to hold back Snatch McCracken. A quick recycle, but not quite enough to hold her. She's through on the initial. 4 points up for the Nightmares, courtesy of Summer of Sam. Calls it before any points go up for Green Mountain.
Yeah, Summer of Sam just comes out of turn 4 here and has a...
You got a shout out there.
Hi, Liliana. I miss you. But I was going to say, Summer of Sam came out of turn 4 with a real clear shot there of Wu, the bench coach for CNY Nightmares, and very clear with the call it off. So a quick 4 points, so they'll stay in the lead, 23-16.
Beast Infection with the star for Grade A Fancies, and if you're just joining us, Green Mountain's Grade A Fancies in white, CNY Nightmares in black, and that's Hotcakes with the star once again. Pack extending from turns 1 to 2, coming back together in turn 2, but still lots of lateral chaos happening. And right up the inside line, lead for Beast Infection.
Yeah, with Beast Infection taking lead for the Grade A Fancies, they will break the four jam streak that CNY had there, picking up lead and actually holding Green Mountain scoreless at the same time.
We have a multiplayer block being assessed to number 79 on the Nightmares. That's Anita Grenade.
All right, so definitely some blocker trouble. 2 blockers being lost, 2 multiplayer blocks there. And we've also had a star pass. So Slay is now the jammer of record for CNY. But we'll have the jam called off there.
Green Mountain back on top, 24-23 after an 8-point jam. We're 13 minutes in.
I was going to say, taking a look at the stats over here from Jim the Grim, but we've got, looks like 2 star passes being utilized by each team at this point. Slay taking both of them for the CNY Nightmares, and then it looks like a Curb Stomp and Seroquel XR, yep, 1 each.
Okay, we have, is an illegal contact penalty assessed to number 9. That's Busty Breaker.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first time that we'd seen Busty out there wearing the star for the Grade A Fancies. We got Ream wearing the star out of the pack in turn 1. Not lead, so no lead being awarded to Ream. But yeah, there we go. It is jam refs just check in with one another, and you know, Busty Breaker went to the penalty box pretty early, so never had an opportunity to pick up lead.
on one foot. Reem able to get by on the inside line. So poised, far more graceful than any of us ever could do. And coming back around, pack at full staff and jammers both present. We'll see what happens as Busty Breaker is returning. The back block call appears to have been assessed to one of Green Mountain's blockers. Busty Breaker threw on her initial. We'll see, a quick call off, which, there we have it.
Yeah, I feel like Reem was just like, no, I called it off.
Hi, I tap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so here we can see
Yes.
Reem just getting a series of hard hits there coming out of turn 4. Another one there by, let's see, it looks like number 29, Poison Apple. And just after that Poison Apple hit, Reem is just like, I'm done, calling it off. And then goes to skate off the track, but it's like, no, really, I called it off.
Just the way to use the momentum from the hit was perfect.
So it looks like we have a team timeout, Green Mountain Grade A Fancies. This will be, I was going to say just a quick thing.
Yes.
This is just going to be the last game of the day, and then we'll restart tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Appalachian versus Antwerp.
Oh, that's going to be good.
So good.
It's all going to be good because today was great.
And so just to give you a quick rundown of where we've been so far today, we started off the day Burning River victorious over Green Mountain with the 9 o'clock game. CNY took the victory over Jersey Shore, 270 to 171. Appalachian was defeated by Providence in Game 3. Antwerp took the win over Bruce City. Burning River then was victorious over Jersey Shore. And here we are now, last game of the first day of the siege of CNY, with CNY with a lead of 31 to 24.
And at this point, we have the pairing of Snatch McCracken for Green Mountain up against Summer of Sam for the CNY Nightmares. Pack taking a little bit of space from the line. And going with a pair of blockers to catch Summer of Sam. We'll see if that works. Snatch McCracken straight up the middle, out with lead. Took just about 10 seconds. Summer of Sam is out of the pack, and pack is now right at the edge of the back stretch. Driving back, Snatch McCracken, who calls it off before any points can be accrued for the CNY Nightmares.
All right, next lineup coming up. We've got Bernoulli's Evasion for Green Mountain. It looks like Green Mountain using a 5-jammer rotation so far. And then we've got Hot Cakes out there in the black for CNY Nightmares. And it looks as though they're using about a 3-jammer rotation. Reem, Hot Cakes, and Summer Sam. Last time Bernoulli's Evasion was out there, ran into a lot of trouble, had a jammer penalty in there, and then just really could not get out of the pack to work on the initial, and also just couldn't relinquish the star as quickly as she wanted.
Lead obtained by Hot Cakes and the Nightmares. We've had a star pass to Seroquel XR on Grade A Fancy, coming up to the back of the pack. Jam is called, no points for Green Mountain, and 4 for the Nightmares. They're at 35 to Green Mountain's 27. Team timeout, called by Green Mountain.
So team timeout by White. It looks like that'll be the second team timeout that they've taken so far in the first half. We still have 13 minutes left to go and an entire second half.
I know, so much more to come. And even though it is going pretty quickly, I think that's been the trend for the games today in particular. There's been a lot of fast-moving action as far as what's occupied us. And then you go, wow, already?
Yep.
But tomorrow, when we were talking about the matchups, I know you had mentioned what we saw today, but I know there's also a whole lot more to discuss because this is a WFTDA recognized tournament. And we've touched on some of those upcoming events. But, of course, the piece de resistance, the 2019 WFTDA postseason.
Yeah, it's incredible that it starts as early as August 9th.
I know.
That's crazy. So that'll be the WFTDA Continental Cup North America West in Orem, Utah, hosted by Happy Valley Derby Darlings.
Nice.
Sounds like a really peppy place to be.
Yeah.
And then after that, August 23rd through 25th, the WFTDA Continental Cup North America East in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, hosted by Dutchland Derby Rollers. We'll give you some more updates as the time passes.
Ream is back with the star up against Busty Breaker, and Pack extending out into turn 2. It is Busty Breaker through with lead. I do believe perhaps Busty Breaker's first lead, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is. She received a jammer penalty the last time she was out there.
4 points up. Busty Breaker calling it before any points are put up by Ream and the Nightmares.
All right, so those 4 points from the Grade A Fancies will bring them to 31. That's within 4 points of the CNY Nightmares, who are at 35. We've got just under 13 minutes left to go in the first half. Summer of Sam for CNY Nightmares in the black, taking on number 369, Snatch McCracken in the white for the Grade A Fancies.
Seeing the Pack do some work on the lines, but a back block call on Snatch McCracken not only leaves a power jam for Summer of Sam, but she secures lead as well. So tentative Pack ready to sweep if need be. Yeah, looks like, yeah, Summer of Sam pushing it out as the pick doesn't always go according to plan. So right now just working on pushing the boundaries of the engagement zone. And there we have it, 4 points up for CNY.
And we've got Snatch McCracken rather, standing in the penalty box and release. So basically she and Summer of Sam are going to come out into turn 1 together.
Okay, Snatch McCracken through. No points on that. See, 2 points on the last pass for CNY. So 6 points in total boosts the Nightmares to 41 points over Grade A Fancies 31. And thank you all, whoever is watching right now on Twitch TV, live with New England Roller Derby Report, aka Nerd Derby, bringing you this beautiful broadcast for the low price of free.
Yeah, free.
Yeah, it's my favorite price. And let's see, talking about numbers, we've got number 19, Beast Infection, wearing the star off the jammer line for Green Mountain up against Hotcakes of the CNY Nightmares. Seeing some shuffling out there as the Pack moves into the back stretch. At the front, Green Mountain holding it down defensively. Hotcakes doesn't like that one bit. It keeps pushing it out.
Yeah, no, like those are 2 crazy blockers to come up again. Seroquel, XR,
Oh,
and
shoulders.
then also number 23, Fox. Fox, who's been on the defensive end of a number of really hard, well, offensive side of some really hard hits rather.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got CNY Nightmares calling off that jam, but I believe that's Beast Infection still in the penalty box after picking up a back block. So 4 points on the board that last round, 45 CNY Nightmares, Grade A Fancies 31, just under 10 to go. Reem is going to start unopposed this jam here with a full defense of her blockers there. 4 on 4.
Hotcakes pushing up against the brace 2 wall. Looks like curb stomp drops to maintain Pack. All right, I was just checking because I was curious about the jammer penalties. And speaking of jammer penalties, a forearm on Ream.
And I was going to say, that's probably, I don't know, Jim, our producer, how aware you are of the announcer's curse, but it's like, you're like, oh,
We'll
Green
say
Mountain
this
is,
happens.
has picked up 4 for jammer penalties, and CNY hasn't picked up any. And just as you're saying that,
Yes.
Ream goes to the penalty box.
Well, because I was curious because I noticed the absence of the jammers quite a bit for Green Mountain.
Yep.
And I had asked the question. I didn't even say it. I wrote it down. And do you know, right as I was about to tell everyone, that's when the CNY jammer penalty occurred.
All right, Beast Infection through for 4 points. Has the lead for the grade A Fancies. Ream back on the track, star in hand. Fancies, though, waiting for her right there in turn 1. Slow moving up front. Beast Infection taking it to the inside of turn 2. Big push there by both jammers. Not a lot of forward momentum. Ream looks like got 1 to beat. But then we've got number 9, Busty Breaker, coming up. A little bit of recycling. In the meantime, Beast Infection just taking it to the outside of the backstretch like it's a Sunday stroll for another 4 points.
Farmer Slaughter jumping in to give a little help, though a relentless twosome at the front of the pack being Busty Breaker and Curb Stomp, really burning the clock on Sinful, who has the star. Wow.
Beast Infection's going to take a hard hit there to land in the infield just around turn 1. Call it off from the ground after 11 points. So those 11 points are going to bring the grade A Fancies to within 3. CNY Nightmares held scoreless there at 45. 7 minutes left to go in the first half.
I'm just curious, highest scoring jam in the game or just for Green Mountain?
In the game.
Oh, 11 points. So big gain there for Green Mountain.
Yeah, definitely a lot of 4-point jams on the scoreboard there.
Sometimes the slow build is the best way. And Bernoulli's Evasion is out there with the star, getting drawn back into turn 1 for grade A Fancy. Meanwhile, Summer of Sam pushing it out at the front and is declared lead at 22 seconds in.
Looks like we've got a star pass. Bernoulli's Evasion handing it off to Snatch McCracken. But it looks like there's a really intense discussion between the jam ref and Snatch McCracken, so I'm not quite sure what was being said.
Feelings. There are feelings.
Yeah, she does not have the star on her hand, and it looks like she's trying to get it back to Bernoulli's Evasion.
Yes, because it must not have been a legal star pass transaction.
So all of that skating, that whole entire lap, just to hand it back over, and it looks like Bernoulli's Evasion being sent to the penalty box on a cut. So we've got Summer of Sam still out there in lead jammer privilege. 8 points on the board so far this round. So where the grade A Fancies were within about 4 points of kind of tying things up, a botched star pass, which then turns into a cut track, and Summer of Sam having lead. It's just pass after pass after pass. So that's 12.
Snatch McCracken now to the penalty box, but waved back because the queue
is,
right now the box is full, and Snatch McCracken remains in the queue. Jammer is released, so both jammers on track. Oh, here we go. Now the penalty box is emptying out on the Green Mountain side. Snatch McCracken headed for it to take a seat. Peck moving at moderate pace into turn 2. Bernoulli's Evasion pushing, though not getting any points at jam's end.
I was going to say, I admittedly didn't see it if that was just a matter of the clock running out or if Summer of Sam had actually called it. But a big 16-point jam, that now will be the highest scoring jam so far for either team. It's going to bring the Nightmares to 61. Grade A Fancy is held at 0. They're at 42.
Okay, we have an official timeout on hand. And just wanted to throw it out there in case you were not aware. If you're planning to visit us tomorrow and you're in need of any skate accoutrement, we have 808 roller skate in the building. And of course, it's always lovely to have them here. I've been able to be around them 2 weekends in a row because I was at April Lakes last week and they were there too. So make sure you check out 808rollerskate.com and they would be happy to provide you with a variety of goods to meet all of your roller skating and roller derby needs.
And if you just like fun socks.
Yeah, fun socks too. I heard about Dino Tacos.
Yeah.
Traffic Jam told me about those. I think I'm going home with an empty wallet. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Meanwhile, I'm going to go home with an empty wallet because the snack shack over in the corner,
Yes.
I think Shree's going to make pineapple upside down cake, and it's my
What?
favorite. So if you're listening today, but you're going to be here
Ooh.
tomorrow, stay away from the pineapple upside down cake because it's Alota's.
Aloda
All
will
of it.
hurt you.
I will. I'm really a nice person, but don't come
Don't
between
mess
me.
with their food.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, though, this is something, this is earth-shatteringly important information. A lot of sarcasm takes her tournament head announcer role so seriously, knowing that there were members of the crew who were in on the WFTDA Chomps stunt food group for the select group of us who like all of the weird fun foods and flavors of Peeps and things.
Yep.
And on our announcer table this morning, there is a box of chicken and waffles cereal, which I am happy to report is surprisingly vegetarian.
Interesting. It's kind
Yes.
of like bacon salt.
I know.
Vegetarian, low sodium, and it's weird how
It's
things like that
super
work.
weird,
Yeah.
right?
But did you try it?
Not yet. So we
Tomorrow
need to do
morning.
that. And then what's the other one? Banana cream
The banana
something.
cream frosted flakes. I was so excited to find.
So there will be food experimentation and photos to come for
Yeah.
WFTDA Chomps. But back to the track. Speaking of food, hot cakes up against Curb Stomp. Hot cakes.
I think the Peeps are pancakes and maple syrup flavored.
Yes,
so
those
that's a nice
are.
little segue.
I know, right?
But I've got no fun food for Curb Stomp. Sorry.
Well, there is elsewhere, there is a skater with the name Curb Stomp and Coleshaw. And I always wanted to say coleslaw, so that's a food, but not this Curb Stomp.
All right, we've got hot
Lead
cakes through,
for
yeah.
hotcakes, yeah.
And, just about 40 seconds into that jam before that was picked up, we've got Curb Stomp out on an initial.
Yes, Hotcakes calls it. Let's see, there are 3 points put up for the CNY Nightmares, 0 for Grade A Fancy. So 64 points for CNY, 42 for Green Mountain, and under 4 minutes remain in the period. I can't help it. I get excited. When you come to roller derby tournaments specifically, there are a couple of things that make the experience, aside from the people. If there are puppies present, if there are dogs, Alota's mom brought dogs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
there are other people with really cute, sweet dogs in this venue. That makes me very happy. And then the food. So,
Yep.
It's really just this all-around fun thing.
It is always a good time here at the Siege of CNY in Rome, New York.
Always. Okay, looks like taking a quick moment. We're still in the official timeout.
Yeah, and I just got word that the official timeout was because number 26 for CNY, Jaded Skater, took a fall, and they were concerned that she might have hit her head.
Oh,
So
safety first.
Yeah, we've just got the EMTs giving her a good check out here.
And I just have to say, one of the most clever medical names that I've seen, Splenda Eastwood. It's pretty rad. He's right in front of us. Okay, Cryptic Kablam up against Ream. Cryptic Kablam out in front.
And it looks like this is Kablam's first time wearing the star in this game.
Oh.
We've got Reem. Where is Reem? I just saw her, and then she was gone.
Well, let's see. There are a few folks who are really pushing.
You know what?
Reem
I
is
think there
past
was
the
a
star.
star pass, so that's why.
Yes, so on the screen right here, thankfully to New England Roller Derby Report's technology, able to see star was passed to Schist and Giggles.
Yeah, so I was talking to Schist because she actually started with the Hellions many years ago.
Oh.
And so I was like, so can I just talk about your name? Like,
Yes.
schist, like what exactly is
Type of
schist?
rock.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, well, it's a type of rock that's like commonly found. And she's like, actually, a lot of Manhattan is schist. And I was
Oh.
like, oh, so what you're telling me is Manhattan is full of schist. And she said, yeah, and up here we got a lot of shale. I was like, all right, that's good. Stick right to the business. I'm going to make a bad joke.
I like it. Also, Alota, Bobby Narco pointed out, because he's hanging out behind us, we have a palindrome score right now, 64-46.
Always fun when it's a palindrome.
And always fun for CNY when they grab lead, and they did with Summer of Sam. Sarah Quill XR is your jammer of record for Green Mountain. And right now, we have a bit of a sweep in the pack. It is called, a jam is called off after 2 points for each team.
Yeah, I think that was like a bonus point there for
Yeah.
Sarah Quill XR because she came out of turn 3 with like
Right.
holding one finger up, and she ended up with 2. So not going to argue that, that's for sure.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got number 13 wearing the star
Slay
for
West.
CNY. Yeah, Slay West, no stranger to the star. We saw her take the star as the pivot a number of times in the first half of their first game. And then in the second half of that game, she was really in that 4 jammer rotation pretty heavily for CNY. So here we go, wearing the star for the first time, picking up lead for CNY Nightmares.
Beast Infection working on the pack, getting caught up in the middle, but is able to get through, not lead. Of course, we have 1 Green Mountain blocker to the penalty box.
Yeah, I believe that is Trashered. Trashered. Yeah. If I just keep saying it to myself, it'll make more sense. I'll convince myself that I said it right.
Now I need to look. Oh, Trashered. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so Slay West going to get pushed to the outside of the backstretch. She's always got such great awareness of who it is that knocks her out. And I'm always just so impressed. Like, how do you know? It's like she's got some kind of like laser thing going on.
It's almost like a tunnel vision. Yes.
All right, so she's coming around on a scoring pass, but coming up against number 23, Fox, in turn 3. Fox is going to get in front of her, slow her down so that the rest of those Green Mountain blockers can just surround her. But she'll be out by turn 4 with another 4 points on the board.
We're seeing things get a little up close and personal in turn 4. We have Sinful off to the penalty box. That's the pivot for the Central New York Nightmares. Bit of a tumble there right around the jammer line. 4 points up for Beast Infection. Though, let's see, at jam's end, all 4 points for Slay West.
Yeah, so 16 points there to end it. That's going to be the second time that 16 points has been put up on the board by CNY Nightmares, and that still is the highest scoring jam. So we are taking ourselves into intermission here. CNY Nightmares 82, Grade A Fancies from Green Mountain at 56. We'll be back in a few. Caught up in the house, Missy Elliott.
Holla!
Right? And then so that makes me want to ask, like, have you heard the new Missy Elliott Lizzo song?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, you should find it.
Okay, that's going to happen once
Yeah.
we're done with the call.
As soon as we're done,
I love
just
me
pull it
some
up.
Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo. All day, every day.
Yes. So, and there's dancing, though, going on the track right in front of us. We have a jammer dance party. Opposing jammers, by the way, that's Curb Stomp from Grade A Fancy, along with Hotcakes from CNY Nightmares. Oh, we had some fun zooming going on from Cashman, operating the camera on the side.
That guy.
He
Gotta
cannot
keep
be
an eye on him.
trusted. I'm
I'm going to have to
teasing.
look at where I scheduled him tomorrow.
I don't even know. I don't even dare go back to that camera.
That is your that is your host of Derby Rocks Radio right there. Also, we've been lucky enough to have Cashman here along with Shram as well today. Ooh! If you can pick that up, if you're picking up that background noise, there are some happy people in here ready for period 2 of CNY Nightmares versus the Grade A Fancy of Green Mountain Roller Derby.
And you know what I think it was? I think it was a happy birthday shout out for Menace from CNY.
Oh!
And the opportunity to embarrass a teammate.
That's right. And I heard something about cake for breakfast.
Oh, yeah. They had cake for breakfast. They didn't invite me, so I'm really upset.
For shame.
And I was going to say, what I'm not upset about, though, is the fact that we've got Curb Stop out in front, picking up lead jammer for the Grade A Fancies. Hotcakes, rather. I don't know if that was like a star stash that kind of like went wrong or what, but she's got the star back on. Curb Stomp, though, coming out of the pack, calling it off after picking up 3 points.
Yes, and that call-off was forced by Sinful Pleasures with a hip catch, taking her to the lines.
Talking about forcing call-offs, looking at the stats from the first half, Green Mountain used 5 star passes in an effort to do just that, to force the call-off. Those star passes never resulted in any points being put on the board for them, but did end the jam, so they were successful in that route.
Indeed they were. And Snatch McCracken wearing the star for Grade A Fancy up against Ream of CNY Nightmares. Lead is acquired by Snatch McCracken. Ream did snatch the star, getting knocked to the infield by Busty Breaker. The pack hanging out right around the pivot line, not really going too far, but we're seeing lots of chaos, especially laterally. But no, it looks like Farmer Slaughter was chasing out Snatch McCracken, couldn't catch her. 4 more points for Grade A Fancy.
We've got a star pass there from Ream to number 13, Slay West. Slay's going to get knocked to the outside of turn 2 and backed up. Everyone there in turn 2. Snatch McCracken comes out, but picked up a cut somewhere in the middle of all that. I didn't get to see that because it's on turn 2, but being sent to the penalty box for a power jam.
So currently we have Slay West working at the brace 2 wall from the Grade A Fancies, take it to the outside line, heading for the in again, but caught up on the pivot. That would be none other than number 20, Circle XR. There was a few seconds burned, but Slay able to exit. And going the full 2 minutes on this, as of course no lead. Slay West getting caught up behind the full line of Grade A Fancy blocker. Snatch McCracken back, heading toward the inside line, really having to put some pressure on the seams in the CNY wall.
And it looks like Snatch McCracken was going to take it to the outside of turn 4, but Farmer Slaughter was right in front of her. She's going to be able to make her way around Farmer Slaughter and Connie Vick to pick up 4 points.
3 points up for the CNY Nightmares. No points on that last pass for Green Mountain. Oh, no, just 2 for CNY, so they were 85. And Grade A Fancy at 67.
Bernoulli's Evasion taking the star for Green Mountain. A Summer of Sam wearing the star for the Nightmares. Looks like an official timeout being called here. What have I missed on the feed here? And when I say feed,
food.
I mean garlic and cheese, sausage,
Literal.
and mac and cheese.
And have some bacon.
Yeah, all right.
I have an internet lurker time. I need to eat something before I die. Have some bacon, garlic and cheese, sausage and mac and cheese. A whole lot of cheese.
But not too much cheese.
No, too much cheese is not a good
It's
thing.
just, yeah, you just don't want to do that.
The facial expression of Chad with Nerd Derby and obviously off camera is pretty hilarious right now. But
Yeah, where's that close-up cash man when we need it?
right? No laughing matter. Your jammers are poised and ready with a full complement of blockers on the track. That would be Bernoulli's Evasion jamming for Grade A Fancy versus Summer of Sam from CNY Nightmares.
Summer of Sam's going to pick up lead jammer privilege. Almost got knocked out of bounds and forced into a cut on the outside of turn 1. We've got a star pass there from Bernoulli's Evasion off to curb stomp.
One blocker from CNY Nightmares to the penalty box, 4 points up.
Summer of Sam getting the whirly finger there from Wu, which just sounds terrible, but really I'm just saying that like she's getting the call to like keep it going. Yeah.
Summer of Sam calls it off per command of the bench. No points picked up on the last pass, but it was a 4-4 jam, and CNY Nightmares 89. Green Mountain left at 71, about 4.5 minutes in.
So I know that earlier we talked about the 2 North American Continental Cups that are coming up in August, but just to kind of continue that out further so that you can plan your vacation and your savings. September 6th through 8th, the International WFTDA playoffs start in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, hosted by Greensboro Roller Derby. And then followed there, it looks like the next weekend, September 13th through 15th, the playoffs continue in Seattle, Washington, hosted by Rat City Roller Derby. Oh, you know,
Yeah.
I might have a reason to be in Seattle other than this in September. So now I got to check my calendar.
You might have to plan accordingly.
Right, I'm so glad I did this read. And then October 5th through 6th, the WFTDA Continental Cup goes over to Europe, hosted by Kallio Rolling Rainbow in Helsinki, Finland.
Yes, they've been the hosts of, I believe, the Finvitational in the past. So from what I hear, they are excellent hosts. Should be a lot of fun. But right now, we have lead secured by Hotcakes. Seroquel XR is the jammer of record, but in the box for Green Mountain. So Hotcakes on the power jam. And with some help from her offense, she did not get smothered by Grade A Fancy.
All right, so we've got Seroquel XR standing now in the penalty box, ready to rejoin the pack there, which is moving through the backstretch into turn 3. Hotcakes is going to take it to the outside for another scoring pass.
And Wu advising Hotcakes to keep it moving after picking up 4.
All right, so it looks like the penalty box is empty at this point. So a big push out there by Poison Apple from Green Mountain to take Hotcakes out into turn 3.
Oh,
It looks like
an
illegal contact.
Yep.
Jinx, buy me a
Sorry.
Coke.
I didn't buy you one, but I'm sure I could get you a Coke Zero Sugar because they're over to the side.
Cool.
Not a sponsorship.
Sounds good. Yeah, right.
Be like, here you go. Here's a free soda. I brought you Soda Stream.
Hotcakes is through for another 4 points. So it looks like 16 points on the board. That is the third time that CNY has put 16 points on the board in a pass. So once she completes this, that will then be the highest scoring jam.
So let's see. Adding 2 because we have bullhorns up there. So 18 points. Aloda's doing a bullhorn dance over here. It looks like instead of glow sticks, you know, like
Oh, yeah, totally.
late 90s. Yeah, in the club.
Yeah, oh, man. It's like on my way into my 30s at that point.
Nah.
Yeah. All right, Reem, no stranger to the jammer line here. Again, we had talked about jammer rotations. Jim the Grim, our producer here, had told me that Green Mountain has put 7 of their 12 skaters in the star so far in the first half. But we've seen Reem really part of a solid 4 jammer rotation with maybe Slay Western in there, here and there.
Right. It's interesting to see every team's different take on it, but I guess their jammer stable runs deep at Green Mountain.
All right, so Reem, you know, a skater who's used the star pass a couple of times in the first half, completed a full pass, and it is an initial and picks up lead. So that is great for the Nightmares. It looks like Seroquel XR out of the penalty box, a star stash, putting that on as Reem's going to call it off in turn 4.
And Aloda, the food discussion continues.
Does it?
Apparently the barbecue chicken melt off the food truck outside was amazing. For plain old Jim. Oh, a buffalo chicken melt too per Chad.
I'm gonna get one tomorrow.
All right.
$7 for this big sandwich.
It's a giant sandwich apparently.
Right,
So that's
Chad
awesome.
approved.
Chad tested,
Chad
no jury approved.
Oh,
No,
you
no,
just
no.
heard about it.
That
All
was
right.
Jim tested, plain old Jim approved.
Got it. Got it, got it,
But
got it.
back to the track beast infection with the star for Grade A Fancy, but it is Summer of Sam securing lead for CNY.
You gotta tell you, Beast Infection having a really hard time completing an
Yeah.
initial pass, just getting knocked down repeatedly between the jam line there and just getting into turn 2 with about 30 seconds elapsed on the jam clock.
Yeah, despite the intervention of Curb Stomp, it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, Sinful Pleasures, the pivot for CNY Nightmares, really did a number, burning the clock down.
All right, so Summer of Sam called it off after putting 4 additional points on the board for the CNY Nightmares. That's gonna bring them to 111. Grade A Fancies 0.
PNG was getting some love on the Twitch
As
chat
she
stream.
should.
Yes, she's wonderful. And glad to say that not only is P&G a member of the CNY Nightmares roster, she's
Yeah.
also on our announcer crew.
Yeah.
So it's even more awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see her on the roster this weekend. I know that she's worked so hard over the last couple of years to get here, so it makes my heart very happy to
Yes.
see her here.
Too. Okay, what else makes me happy is seeing awesome things on the track, like the drawback coming from the CNY Nightmares. Also lead for hotcakes. Cryptic Kablam is her opposition from Grade A Fancy, who has stashed the star.
Stash the star, but like Sinful Pleasures is on her, like
Yes.
solid 1-to-1. It looks like Sinful Pleasures, though, going to be sent to the penalty box for something that happened in there.
Oh, it was likely some sort
Of penalty.
yes. I'm sorry. I was watching Slay West all of a sudden do a quick turn on a catch on the jammer. But, yeah, words. I lost them.
All right, so just that wall from CNY, just so dynamic. They are in front of Cryptic Kablam anywhere she wants to be. They are just effortlessly moving in front of her. And right now, it's Jaded Skater and
Connie Vict as well
Yep.
as Slay
Slay
West.
West.
Yes.
really putting the hold on her right there in the middle. Looks like Slay going to be sent to the penalty box. I didn't catch what that penalty was, but, you know, still formidable blockers out there for CNY.
So 2 up for CNY takes them to 117-71, which is a palindrome.
There'd have to be one other
Partially.
one.
Oh, that's right. There would need to be. Yeah, we don't want 7-11 for anyone right now. That would be a lot of points.
I could take a, what is it, a big gulp?
Yeah, that actually wouldn't be bad.
I would take a 7-Eleven.
If you add those numbers together, it's 188, which means absolutely nothing.
Oh, Chad.
Chad making math jokes off the off mic, basically because Bobby Narco is such a great derby mathematician that the rest of us are just like, yeah, no, we're not there.
All right, so we've got Snatch McCracken taking the lead for Green Mountain. I think the first time they've picked up lead in 6 jams. We've got Reem wearing the star for the CNY Nightmares, completing an initial pass, but 2 Green Mountain blockers being sent to the penalty box. So definite pack advantage will start off there for CNY Nightmares.
Everyone singing the praises of P&G, but also saying, aside from the fact that she's amazeballs, that she makes awesome buffalo chicken wing dip. And someone else said they could go for a Slurpee.
Not say it was not say that she makes an awesome.
Okay, it says
It was
kick-ass.
Jezebel in Hell, so we all know
Yes.
there was a swear in there. If you know her, you know that
Yeah.
there's a swear in there.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but yeah.
Summer Sam makes
SummerSlam.
quick work of the pack, picking up lead jammer. Bernoulli's evasion for the Green Mountain Roller Derby Grade A Fancies wearing the star, but unable to find an opening there. Held pretty solidly back by Farmer Slaughter, Connie Vict. Looks like Jaded Skater and Slay.
Farmer Slaughter able to keep the line open for Summer Sam, but effectively block Bernoulli's evasion. Peck getting all up close and making it weird in order to slow down the jammers. Vermont.
All right, so it looks like Summer Sam rather, just looking to.
Oh,
So
Jezebel
a
in Hell.
forearm and is that a low block? Oh man! So back-to-back penalties being given to Summer of Sam. So a full minute of power jam here for the Grade A Fancies. I know that there's been at least one other time today where we had a full minute power jam, and it's just it makes you realize that. How did we ever deal with minute-long power jams or before a minute like
Those were rough.
penalties? It just
Yes. The improvements made to the game, we are grateful for them, for sure. Aside from safety, but also for the sake of gameplay. Those 4 points going to Curb Stomp. And we've seen some more penalty activity on the blocker end for CNY. Jaded Skater currently in the box.
So a scoring pass there, 4 points on the board for Curb Stomp. It'd be the second, like a back-to-back scoring jams for them after being held scoreless for 4.
Points on the pass to curb stop before, 4 points on the pass to curb stop again. That's another 3.
A total of 3 on the last pass for Green Mountain. Takes them to 82. That was a total of 7 and 121 for CNY.
All right, so it looks like we've got, I was going to say, I thought we were going to see Farmer Slaughter jamming, who she is just so quick out there.
Yes.
Oh, I love watching her.
Well,
And her form is beautiful.
It really is. And, you know, partially, I think, from having to take tight turns when refereeing,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yep.
know, definitely adds to it.
All right, so Snatch McCracken wearing the star for the Grade A Fancies. We've got Summer of Sam out of the penalty box, but it will be Snatch McCracken out in front. And she is lead jammer. It was a forearm assessed to Sinful Pleasures for CNY.
Oh, Snatch McCracken around the outside, able to avoid the CNY Nightmare defense. Summer Sam out on the initial. Farmer Slaughter off to the penalty box.
Yeah, some definite blocker penalty trouble here. Just 2 blockers on the track right now. Anita Grenade and Schist and Giggles. So an 8-point jam for Snatch McCracken. That is, let's see, they've picked up 8 points once before here in the second half, but really kept to, pretty much 4 or less. Hotcakes number 42 for CNY. Taking on number 32, Curb Stomp. All right, looks like number 9, Busty Breaker, being sent to the penalty box for a forearm. But that'll be Hotcakes out in front. Lead jammer privilege going to CNY Nightmares.
Not far behind, Curb Stomp. And the pack tentatively awaiting jammers. See what happens here. Hotcakes pushing up front, takes a quick couple of points she can get. And just to confirm, yes, that there were a couple for Green Mountain, but 3 for CNY. So 126 Nightmares, 92 Grade A Fancy.
And just about 13 minutes left to go in the second half. So this is the last game of the day. We'll be back here bright and early at 9 o'clock with Appalachian to take on Antwerp. Snatch McCracken wearing the star for the Grade A Fancies. Reem wearing it for the CNY Nightmares. Both jammers just trying to scramble behind those walls. Looks like Snatch McCracken, though, is going to see an opening to the outside of turn 1 and kind of followed out on the hips of Sinful Pleasures. Snatch McCracken, though, picking up lead jammer privilege. Jaded Skater being sent to the penalty box for the CNY Nightmares.
Ring putting the star back on, but not able to get in the pack and grab points, so those last 4 for Snatch McCracken.
Gotten lead 3 out of the last 4 times.
All right,
4
so,
times his house.
okay.
75% of the times.
Last 4 times that Snatch McCracken has been out wearing the star. 3 out of those 4 times she's picked up lead jammer privilege. So we see the Grade A Fancies kind of chipping away at that lead that the CNY Nightmares had. After being held scoreless for about 4 or 5 jams, the Grade A Fancies have really come back, picking up lead, putting points on the board.
And they're really doing what they can to narrow the differential because they know exactly how much that can impact rankings. Oh, Summer Sam to the penalty box. Beast Infection does have lead on the power jam.
And it looks like Summer Sam's going to be serving 2. I believe that's a forearm and then also an insubordination.
Oh, for not getting to the box fast enough. We know how that goes. You stay on the track too long. Add 4 for Beast Infection brings Green Mountain to 100. Working steadfastly to narrow the score gap. Jaded Skater with the drawback, although picking up an out-of-play penalty. Oh, no. It appears to be a direction of gameplay penalty. Oh no, the direction of gameplay was actually assessed to Seroquel XR.
Beast Infection with 8 points on the board already. This jam comes through the pack, slides into the front stretch, calls it off from the floor. Another 4, so that's a 12-point jam for the Grade A Fancies, and I'm going to say that's the highest scoring jam for the Grade A Fancies in the game. We're doing some math here. We're doing some double check.
Shiston Giggles was the blocker who managed to drive the jammer down to the floor.
Snatch McCracken, who's done pretty well picking up lead for Grade A Fancies, does it again.
Summer of Sam standing in the penalty box. It has been released. Oh, a cutting the track penalty assessed to Snatch McCracken.
Oh, but hold on a second.
Ooh.
Hold on. A little confusion.
What?
Tim the ref is like, no, no, no. She should be back on. So I think
We do not have two lead jammers. We'll find out, though. Let's see.
yeah, Snatch McCracken was like, tell me what to do. Just keep skating.
Can I or can't
Just-
I call it off? I need to know.
Right? yeah, that's so important. And I mean, she's already put 4 points on the board, so she's ahead of that. And it looks like they're still trying to figure it out, but that's another 4-point pass. Summer of Sam is out. 4-point. So
lead was given to Summer of Sam.
I'm interested in how this is going to turn out.
Well, I also sense that there could be an official review headed our way, but we will wait until we hear. Yes. Let's see. What do we have? No, this is an official timeout.
And I enjoy how Snatch
Yes.
McCracken is just like, I just don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep skating. They're gonna keep giving me points.
Hey, take the points and run with them.
Skate with them.
Skate with them, yes. Or you could run on skates. It depends.
Could, yeah. I
Some folks do
guess.
it on their toe stops.
Oh man.
I
it
just prefer
freaks me
to.
out.
I like making my run roll. I run into my roll. You know, a
Nice.
little bit of a duck walk run. Yeah. So 130 to 116 is current score. We'll find out what's going on with this official timeout.
Oh, so we had pretty much made our way through the list of the 2019 WFTDA postseason games.
Yes.
But we stopped short of one.
Champs, that's right.
Champs.
The 2019 International WFTDA Championships for the first time outside of the United States.
Yeah.
Yes, in Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
Give me that
Host-
poutine.
Yes, hosted by Montreal Roller Derby, and that'll be November 15th through 17th, so mark your calendars. And of course, if you are looking to stay on top of everything when it comes to the Continental Cups that I know we mentioned, visit WFTDA.com/cups, or for playoffs and championships, WFTDA.com/tournaments, because then you'll be able to keep an eye out for when tickets will go on sale. I know it'll be summer this year, but when exactly this summer, I'm not sure. We do not have those dates. So, of course, make sure you're right on top of that.
Yep, absolutely.
Make your plans accordingly, and I'm excited. I've actually never been to Montreal, and this is a good excuse. So
Sure is.
definitely have to go, whether announcing or not.
Yep.
Wear a Bruins jersey.
Chad just said, wear a Bruins jersey, because the Canadiens fans, they will love that.
Habs fans, like crazy.
No hockey rivalries, none whatsoever.
Not at all. All right, so what we've got happening here is it looks like 4 points on the board after that last jam for the CNY Nightmares. They're at 130. 8 points on the board for Snatch McCracken and the Grade A Fancies, bringing them to 116, and both jammers are out on the track. So we've not gotten any official word back, but, I mean, here we are. We can just tell you the facts as we see them.
Exactly. And right now, Hotcakes stuck at the back of the pack behind some Grade A fancy blockers, and Curb Stomp cycled back as well. So moving along is Curb Stomp right out in front of Hotcakes with lead, but Hotcakes doing her best to force the call off. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, great job by Hotcakes of getting out and then just like staying real low. I honestly don't think that Curb Stomp knew that she was there.
Right.
And it was really like
was
her bench that was
sneaky.
just like, you got to call it right there.
That's the thing. Not everybody makes a lot of noise when they skate, so one never knows. Ream out there with the star once again for the Nightmares. And Bernoulli's Evasion for Grade A Fancy. Evasion up front. Securing lead, though, taken to the outside.
Yeah, by
in turn
Tristan
2.
Giggles.
Mhm.
And then Bernoulli's Evasion getting knocked down. We've got a star pass there off to Slay West. So Bernoulli's now being knocked to the inside, and I think like her bench is just like, you got to call it because Slay is coming in to score points. Slay's going to take a jump, but it may have already ended
0-0.
Yeah. But you
Well,
know,
a
that
great jump.
was just mwah, lovely.
Oh, you guys assume I got the replay?
Did
Oh, yeah,
you?
we totally assume that you got the replay.
We're
'cause
looking at
you
Chad. Did you
did.
get the replay of that? I would hope so. Oh, a lovely jump. However,
Too late.
too late because of the whistles. That would
Oh.
definitely fit the category of casually picked jump. Yes.
All right, Summer Sam taking the star for CNY Nightmares, and that is Snatch McCracken taking it to the outside of turn 1 to pick up lead for the Grade A Fancies.
Summer Sam taken to the outside line, a cutting the track penalty assessed. So now power jam for Snatch McCracken and Grade A Fancy. Open inside line, Jammer's Delight. Snatch McCracken says, don't mind if I do. Takes the 4 points.
I mean, I think this time around,
Yes.
she's just happy to know that she's lead.
Yes. It's clearly
And she's
communicated.
sure about it.
I know what I'm supposed to do.
Yep. And, you know, talking about lead, in the first half of the second period here, CNY came out so strong with a real solid streak of picking up lead jammer privilege and keeping Grade A Fancies at bay. But that's really kind of changed over time, and now it's the Grade A Fancies who are picking up lead more consistently, able to put points on the board. So right now they're just sitting 6 points away from taking the lead. And we've got another 4-point pass from Snatch McCracken, who's going to call it off. Summer Sam is out of the penalty box. So we've got a 2-point game right now. 12 points on the board for Snatch McCracken. 5.5 minutes left to go. And this is the last game of the first night.
day.
This is
I
a
know.
great way to do it. What a great just fight, just like very focused. And there's been a couple of 16-point jams from CNY. Those are the highest scoring jams of any team. But a lot of single-digit jams, not a lot of double-digit jams from either team. So it's just been a slow progress, a slow climb for both the Nightmares and the Fancies.
First team timeout for Central New York.
Let's see where he's gonna go.
We're taking a
Let's
quick
follow
look.
this through.
Chad and I are evaluating what's going on. Oh, see, there's 808 roller skates. And then we have some skaters. People are hanging out. That's Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah,
Someone's
that
a little
tired,
tired.
too.
Yes, we understand. Checking out the fan section. Look, ooh, empty chairs.
I could sit over there.
I know,
That'd be
right?
great.
Some comfy chairs. Some more folks. I don't know.
Oh, Cashman.
Cashman's like, look at the crowd, look at the people. Oh, merch. We have merch.
You know, for anyone who is just listening to the
Oh,
audio
little baby.
and is just listening to this,
Another
they've got to be like,
baby.
what is going on?
But where are the puppies? That is my question. Babies are great, but where are the puppies?
Puppies are down on the floor.
I know. That's where Cashman should be zooming in on. And there's Kirky on the bench.
Yeah, it's got real good. That was a great little tour of the venue.
Thanks, Cashman.
Thank
You're
you.
the best.
If only he had the audio right now.
He's like, I done good, right, guys?
With this 2-point game, we are back to Jam 18. Beast Infection and Summer of Sam are your jammers of note. Lead for CNY and Summer of Sam.
And so the interesting thing is that was it in fact, it's
No.
not Summer of
No,
Sam. It's
it's
actually, and I
Slay
thought that,
West.
yeah, maybe there might have been an early star pass.
No.
But nope, it looks like Slay has the star from start to finish.
My apologies. I trusted the scoreboard. Someone read her 13 as a 10. But yes, 4 points for Slay West.
And we've got Beast Infection completing a scoring pass there. So just 3 points on there and a big fall there on the backstretch. Number 23, Fox, going down along with Shiston Giggles.
A forearm call on Poison Apple. Not looking thrilled with the call, but, no one likes taking some time in the penalty box.
All I got to say is better to not look thrilled than to be given an insubordination.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
you can look not thrilled as
I
you
know.
skate away.
I have plenty of those faces as I head to the penalty box, and most of the time they get captured on camera.
Excellent. All right, so Slay West continuing scoring passes there. Another 4 points. 4 points there, answered by Beast Infection as well.
Currently 12-11 for CNY on this jam. And Beast Infection going for the apex
yes.
jump.
I think that Farmer Slaughter might have been a little bit proud of herself with that hit right there. So beautifully timed, and she was just so solid. Stood there like a rock right there on the inside of turn 1.
That's my favorite place to be.
Yeah,
that is
goodness.
I love doing that. I know that may sound terrible, but it's so effective, and jammers hate it.
And it's got to be so satisfying to just know that, like, you were able to deny them something that they just wanted so bad.
Yes, it is the ultimate Gandalf the Grey, you shall not pass move.
Yeah.
Check that right there.
So right in between the referees there, we've got Farmer Slaughter. Yeah, you can see her, like, give the fist pump. She's excited. I did the same thing over here. I was like, yes, Slaughter. Yeah. I love it.
Well, I love watching you get so excited. It was like, yeah. And Lotus starts clapping. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah. I get it. Oh. Let's see what's happening.
All right, so we had Wu out there into the center of the track there, and he's calling his team off the track. So it's a team timeout for the CNY Nightmares. Grade A Fancies within 2 points not too long ago, but then it was a 16-point jam for Slay West, but answered by 11 points from the Grade A Fancies and number 19 Beast Infection. So CNY Nightmares 146, Green Mountain Roller Derby Grade A Fancies at 139, 2.5 minutes left to go.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's.
shopping.
Oh,
Shopping
look it. Oh, hey. That's Hijinks with 808 roller skate. And we got some fans. Let's see if the puppies get in to the frame. Roller derby's intense. That's why our fans are so focused.
Oh, that's my mom.
Oh, but no puppies though.
Yeah,
they must be in the car.
Rusty and Pablo must be out in the car. They're so cute.
I know.
She's like.
So I made friends with the puppies today. I was really excited.
They're so adorable.
Yes.
They look so much alike, but they are not siblings at all.
No. But Poppy and I made friends. That was the little one. And
all right,
not
Snatch
so little.
McCracken. Yeah. I think that she has put points on the board every time she's been out there here in the second half.
A consistent presence for Grade A Fancy for sure.
And I don't think that there's been many times that Hotcakes has been out there and hasn't picked up lead.
Right.
So that's really kind of been her niche out there. So, and not only is she not picked up lead, but she's having a hard time just making an initial. She's got the star in hand. We've got Snatch McCracken taken to the outside of turn 3.
Ooh.
And it's a lead change. Just under 2 minutes left to go on the period clock.
By 1 point. But there was a quick handoff under a Grade A Fancy blocker to Farmer Slaughter. I knew that was going to happen. I was waiting because we knew with the stripe on her head, I'm thinking they're going to pass it. But still, Farmer Slaughter does not have the star on her head. She's just trying to make it through the pack.
And it looks like Snatch McCracken is going to be taken out by Kirky there in turn 1. And then Snatch McCracken being knocked to the inside hard on turn 2.
And Kirky to the penalty box as a result.
All right, so we still have Grade A Fancies up by 1 point. Coming into just a minute, another 4 points on the board. That's going to bring Grade A Fancies to 151. Hotcakes still not out. Oh, yeah, so we had the star pass. So Farmer Slaughter still not out of the pack.
Yeah, right now, Busty Breaker and company, I believe, involved in that little tripod. Also, Curb Stomp. That's not an easy team to break through.
And so taking a look at the clock here, we do have just a couple seconds left on the jam clock. Time still remaining on the period clock. So a huge, huge, huge jam there by Snatch McCracken, who's done a fantastic job this second half, picking up lead and getting points for the grade A Fancies to bring them up 155 over the CNY Nightmares. We've got the Nightmares taking a timeout in hopes that they'll be able to set up another jam and bring it back.
This isn't stressful, not at
No,
all.
no.
That was, yeah, definitely the highest.
I'm excited. My mouth is dry. I'm like,
Yes.
"Ah, what's happening? Ah, my blood pressure."
I know, we get to this point, it's like, wait for it. So 9 points right now in the lead. Green Mountains Grade A Fancy 155 to CNY Nightmares 146.
And I always enjoy games like this one in particular, not just because it's close, but because I've announced for both of
Yes.
these leagues in the past. There are skaters who are on the rosters from both teams that were with my original league. So it's just, oh
Yeah.
man, I'm gonna be happy regardless, but I'm also gonna be
Yes.
sad regardless. So just get every jam's exciting. All right, so it looks
It
like
most definitely is. But
Slay
that's why I'm
West.
sitting here going, okay,
Yeah.
is it time yet? Is it time yet? Okay. Yes, Slay West and Curb Stomp, I believe, are our jammers of record.
And Slay West, just such a patient skater who
Yes.
doesn't really rush into anything. I feel like she always just takes her time, is always very conscientious and intentional.
Yes.
So I'm just waiting to see how this goes.
Yes. So both teams' defense, for good reason, presenting some quagmires for each jammer, and keeping it pretty close too. Going to take them to the lines. I can see Slay West being taken to the lines in the front, and very slowly but surely moving into turn one.
Is it surely moving into turn one? Because I don't know. Slowly for sure.
Slowly but surely. But look at little bit by little bit. See, we have a monitor here at the broadcast table, but a drawback.
Yeah, it looks like just
Yes.
a bit of a shoulder from Connie Vick to push Curb Stomp into the infield and back her up. It almost looked like Curb Stomp was going to have that pass on the inside, but was denied. We've got Slay West kind of moving up front there in the pack, kind of has that front advantage.
Oh, and CNY serving up that awkward blocker sandwich, but Curb Stomp coming around the outside does have lead.
And
And,
Slay gets sent to the penalty box for a cut track.
Period clock has expired, and very quickly after the expiration of the period clock, Grade A Fancy called it off. A wise
Man.
choice, knowing that they were taking the win and happy with that.
This is a whole different holy doodle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Breathe, Loda. It's
yeah.
okay.
What a fantastic game
Yes.
to end the first day of gameplay on here. The host CNY came into this game victorious after having played Jersey Shore earlier today. And then we had Green Mountain, who lost against Burning River in the very first game. But here we've got Green Mountain coming out victorious over CNY. That chipping away, that slow rise to the top.
See?
And
It paid off.
Like-
They were patient and
Snatch McCracken in the second
Yes.
half.
Well,
MVP in my heart.
the jammer penalties for Green Mountain were less in period two compared to period one. You can definitely see how that impacted the outcome of the story. So we have things finishing up. Green Mountain Roller Derby Grade A Fancy 155 to Central New York Roller Derby's Nightmares at 146. Wow.
Yeah.
But make sure, even though we are finishing up the day right now, that you subscribe to New England Roller Derby Report, Nerd Derby's channel on Twitch TV, so that way you'll receive notifications every time we go live all day tomorrow and moving forward, of course. But day two of Siege of Central New York 2019, be back here for 9 a.m. for Appalachian Roller Derby versus Antwerp's One Love Roller Dolls. And that begins day two, because we have games going from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow.
And I was going to say, at the very least, you
Yes.
are going to want to tune in just to see where Cashman pans the camera.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So tune in for that.
On the stream tomorrow, so
One never knows. We'll find out.
All right. I am still a load of sarcasm.
And I am still Beautiful Banshee. Have a fantastic evening. We'll see you back in the morning here at Siege of Central New York.
All right, that's gonna do it for us. That's gonna do it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It was really a pleasure to be able to bring this stream to you all. So fun. So that was a great game to end it off with. As I said, we'll be back here tomorrow morning, bright and squirrely early. Give the stream a follow and turn on notifications, and you'll know exactly when we're going to be online. All right, I'm going to stop the stream. Thanks again, everybody. We appreciate it.